Metro Vancouver's condo market is in dire shape.
I would say it's probably dead at this point in terms of the activity.
A report last month finding more than 2,000 new completed condos are sitting unsold, predicted to rise to nearly 3,500 by year's end. That's in addition to regular listings.
Condo listings are probably the highest we've seen them in years, 16,000 listings overall in the Greater Vancouver Real Estate Board. It's the first time in 10 years.
And pre-sales are so low it's forcing some to rethink current projects.
We heard of one last week in Burnaby where the developer decided not to proceed with the project, and he as a result returned all the deposits.
But even though it is a buyer's market, buyers are still hesitant.
I think it's just a reflection of a couple of factors, just low affordability and a lot of the uncertainty in the market around the economy and those trade shocks right now.
Realtor Tom Albrecht says high home prices continue to keep many new buyers on the sidelines, either taking more time to save or waiting for prices to ease.
I always have a physical set of folders of people who are upcoming purchasers, and that line is longer for me than ever.
And while home prices have come down slightly here in Calgary and in pricier real estate markets like Vancouver and Toronto, Canada's smaller and mid-sized cities are still seeing home prices rise. A home in St. John's, Newfoundland will cost over 13% more than it did last year. Winnipeg home prices have jumped more than 6%, while homes in Trois-Rivières have taken more than a 20% jump.
Canadian economy, already contending with inflation, tariffs, and a cost of living crisis, is also watching a steady and ongoing slump in the housing market. Thousands of condos are left unsold. The Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation says about 2,500 new condos are sitting empty in Metro Vancouver. That's double what it was last year. And in Toronto, the CMHC says the weakening condo market appears to have similarities to the crash of the early 90s. Escalating costs from material and labor are some of the factors behind this market stall.
So Josh, tell us, you've been watching the numbers around here, and today you guys dropped a bunch of data specifically around renters. What's happening there?
So what the data that we released today is showing is that over the last 2 years or so, in real terms, in inflation-adjusted terms, asking rents have fallen about 10 to 15% for 1 and 2 bedroom units.
So what are we still talking about now for a 2-bedroom? What are the prices still hitting around?
I think for a 2-bedroom, it's around $3,200.
Right, and there's also a drop right across the board. 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, single room, all of those seeing drops across the board.
Yeah, there's been notable drops in each of those categories.
What do you say is happening in the market that is prompted this?
So we haven't done a careful causal analysis, so I wouldn't kind of say definitively one thing or another, but this is in the context of slowing population growth. So there has been substantial amounts of new supply in recent years. The rate of completions from the CMHC data is quite strong, and the unemployment rate has increased modestly, which means that fewer people have jobs and incomes, and so they're potentially more likely to move back in with their parents or move in with roommates or something like that, which means that there's a bit less demand for rental space.
There's more evidence tonight of Toronto's troubled housing market.
The city saw its worst July in decades for new home sales. CTV's Rahim Ladani has more on the impact on buyers and sellers.
These new condos on the Queensway may be going up, but according to the building industry, new home sales across the GTA haven't been this low in decades.
The cost to produce new housing is higher than what the market is willing and able to absorb, and that's creating conditions where new buyers sitting on the sidelines.
Looking at both new condos and single-family homes, this past July there were 359 sales. Last July, 684 new homes sold, while based on the previous 10-year average, a typical July in the GTA would see more than 1,900 units sold.
A lot of those new condos, they are not family condos, right? They are tiny.
As sales centers try to incentivize buyers, the inventory of new homes sits at 20 months.
I think the relative cost of a house or a condo to what most people are earning on an annual income basis is considerably higher than it used to be.
This report likens the current market to the housing crisis in the 90s. So far this year, there have been nearly 1,500 fewer new home sales compared to the year 1990.
Royal LePage says most Canadians with mortgage renewals this year are bracing for a hit to their finances. A survey by the real estate company shows 57% of 1,300 homeowners expect to face higher monthly borrowing costs. That figure includes 35% bracing for a slight increase and 22% fearing a significant jump to their mortgage payment. More than 1 million mortgages are up for renewal across Canada this year. Many of those were signed under the historically low rates early in the COVID pandemic.